Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the third session of the hackathon. Yeah, if you have any questions, start shooting, and let's start with the party. Questions? No questions? Let's tell the students that we are online. So, if anyone has any questions, just shoot so we can start this session. I guess people mostly still sleeping. Yeah, you can ask questions about anything. I will try my best to answer about anything. So shoot any question that you have in your mind. Come on. I've seen some people were not satisfied with their progress yesterday. If you have questions, Hannah, Fernando, or Maciej, ask me. I will try to help more. And we can continue to develop together. No worries. Kennedy. Okay, my first question. How are you this morning? I'm great. In Berlin, we have a really nice weather today. So I feel really, really motivated. How are you? I hope that you have a really nice day. Come on. Yeah, finally several people are writing. That's what I'm talking about. Good. I have a question about my exoplayer. It doesn't remember its position upon rotation. Continue. Okay. Let me check out your project easy, and let's start with that. Yeah. So, easy. Should I use your master branch? If you can answer here, that would be nice. So you have only one branch, so I just download it and perfect. Now I will download and open up your project. And you know, Android Studio, it's super fast, so it will take your time. Okay. Let me open the project. So right now the project is building. I will check the code. reproduce the error and see how it goes. So, sometimes Android Studio can be really slow, so it can be annoying. So, meanwhile, I run the app from EC. And video fragment, then open the video fragment. After I solve your issue, since we don't have any big problems right now, I would like to show you also how you can debug your project to have a better understanding about the problem and etc. And the data changes wasn't true. So we hit open the project.
The recipe we're going to make right now is
And
the recipe we're going to make right now is
okay.
chocolate hazelnut cream. The recipe.
One problem here is that Lizzie, I think you are not releasing it correctly, maybe, I'm not sure. But anyway, let's focus on the problem first. I will debug it. Yeah, Antonio, live data problems. And we will check it. We will check it afterwards. After Izzy's problem, I will check it. This makes the fragment transactions to be executed in cascade. So
The recipe we're going to make right now is chocolate hazelnut cream pie.
I will close the sound of it. So okay. So favorite position. Ready. Okay, one problem is I think it's about the saving, because it seems like saving position is not saved correctly. Let me check that out. And since the playback ready is always okay, let's see in this part. Okay, I will. Is it okay for you that I share your project on the screen so I can show you how I do the progress? So that's fine. Share me. Okay. Just give me a second. I think I understand the problem, but I want to be sure. So, moment. It's a bit odd though. Let's try something, not this one now. Emulator problems, I hate this. These are really, really annoying. So we covered all the work. Perfect. Live data keeps while one boolean is true, and when the data changes, it's false and true. Meanwhile, the emulator reopens. I'm reading Antonio's question, by the way, easy. I didn't skip it, don't worry. Antonio, you mean that there is a flakiness in the data? I mean, sometimes it can be false, sometimes it can be true or something? So, step detail fragment, position, then the other one. So, come on. Sorry guys for the delay because my Android Studio sometimes can go crazy. Let me restart it. I think you're doing everything right, but maybe something is you're doing everything right, but something is missing in the releasing the player part, I would say. So that's what I'm going to check. Because you're trying to get the right value from the right player, obviously. So I'm in the fourth position. 1 second. And change it. Okay, here it goes. I see the issue here. I think if we do something different, it will work out better. So I started the window, change it. Okay, that's not good. So saving position. Okay, now we are saving the position correctly. And let's go to the reading part. Okay. And initialize exo clear. So okay. When clicking videos, it should become true and showing videos frame. Okay, I will go back to this question, Antonio. No worries. Now, there was one issue with Easy's approach. I fixed that. Now there's another one. Let me check it. So on create view here. And the other one on start. Okay, one of them is obsolete. So I would get rid of it on from on start, and the other one is 97 on resume. Okay, this is unnecessary too. So let's run this one more time. After I fix this easy, I will explain everything on the code directly so you can have better understanding what's going on there. So no worries. Okay. So okay. Very position. The other problem is we are always recreating your app here. So let me check how you create it. Moment. Alright, by the way, if someone else has any other problems or any other questions, they can ask it meanwhile, and we will continue with those questions after Antonio's question. This is easiest, then Antonio's. Then, if you have questions, more questions, we will continue with that. Fragment manager. So I think I'm seeing the issue here now. So let me check and fix it. And okay, and maybe restart the app. Today is a really calm day. Trying to make it cool. Cool, Antonio. Okay. Yeah, we can go use this one. So let me press this. The problem is that every time that you recreated the fragment, you are starting the application. Sorry, you're starting the fragment again. So this is the problem that we have. We need to get rid of that approach. We want to start and create the fragment only once, easy. Okay, cool. So it works. If you're there, just tell me, send me a message on the thread again so I can explain the solution on the code. I'm waiting for the answer from Easy now. Okay, perfect. So let me show you the code. So, okay. That looks weird. So, first of all, here is your video fragment class. As you see, I have deleted plenty of things here on pause, on stop, and that was on resume. You were creating your exoplayer, and you were calling the exoplayer creation code in different places all the time. So it's totally up to you, but do not call it in on start, on resume, on create view. And in here, since you only call the super of it, you can also delete this. It's not useful. It works in the background anyway. And so what I did is I just have this one here, and it works as you expected, all of them. And what I did is I deleted this, and I only release the player when it's destroyed, when the fragment is destroyed. And one other thing that you made wrong was, as you see here, you are creating this fragment no matter what happens every time that this activity is created. So when I change the orientation, this video fragment is created again. And even though you had the right code to show the right position, your activity was getting teared down. Sorry, your fragment was not visible. This is the right term. And since your fragment was not visible, you had this issue. And what I did is I checked if saved instance state is not null. So since we saved some instance state here, it means that rotation change is rotation change has happened. And if that happened, do not create the video fragment and keep the one that I had. So this is how it is. I change the rotation and it starts keep going from the place edit does. I hope that it clarified some things for you, Easy. And if you need more explanation, just write me a message. If everything is more clear now, just let me know. Okay, I will have to go ahead making those changes. Okay. Yeah, let me know how it goes. As I said, the problem was the creation of the fragment again and again. Your approach was correct. Yeah. Let me check. You're welcome, no worries. I said my PC is slow, but if someone had doubts, it too. It directly reminded me of some meme, Antonio. It reminded me of this. Okay. If anyone else has no questions, I will check. Yeah, Antonio's call. Antonio, can you share your project again one more time? The one that you want me to look at, please. By the way, if anyone else has any questions about anything, they can ask. If I know the answer, I explain directly. If I don't know, I will look it up and try my best. So shoot any questions that you have in your mind. Waiting for Antonio's project now. Antonio, send your project please here, so I can take it out again, because yesterday I cleaned up my computer and now I don't have anything. Anyone has any questions about anything, they can ask about. You can ask about anything too. If I know the answer, I will try to explain things. This is a good opportunity. Yeah, baking JSON has only 4 splits. We need to say the position of the recycler with them. Yes, you have to, because I mean, this is how you're expected to do things. Even though your item size is really really small or something, you're expected to do and implement this behavior, because this is in the general rubrics. You need to have the position is saved, because the view sizes are changing. Even though it's okay in even 4-inch device or 5-inch device, it can be really small in 3-inch device, sorry. And yeah, unfortunately for you, this is an expected behavior. You are expected to save the position of the recycle view anyway. Okay, let me know how it goes, Antonio. Antonio's file had broken, so we will fix it. Anyone else has any other questions? Cool. No worries, no worries. How far are you, Majid? I remember that you had created your project yesterday, I think. So how far are you right now? As I said, you can ask anything about anything if I know the answer. If it's like Android related or whatever it is, I will try to answer it because you're free now. Come on. I got the JSON file, got the main activity working, and now I'm perfect. Good progress. Really. I remember that you started yesterday, so good progress. Master detail flow is not really complicated. You can use fragments, and it will be, since it's new, it will be challenging, of course. So if it doesn't work in the first place, do not get like frustrated or something. Just focus on this. I mean, you have made a good progress in one day, so keep doing what you're doing. And if you have any questions, you can ask during the live stream, after the live stream too. Just send me a PM if you have encountered an issue. Yeah, I will try my best to answer those questions too. No worries. Anyone has any questions about anything? As I said, we have time. You can ask about anything. You are not bounded with the project. If you have something like something about Android, something that you wonder, you can always ask that too. I will try my best to answer. Hello. Hi, Salavik. Hi, Sani. How are you? I'm great. I'm great. Today is a beautiful day in Berlin, so I feel good. And I was working on this issue half of the night, and it's okay on a virtual machine. Of course, it's a bit out of the question to work this way. You mean the issue that you had in the Android Studio, right? When you created the project, it was giving you a theme error. The issue that we tried to work on yesterday. Yeah, I mean, if I wish that I had this screenshot that I told you yesterday. I mean, it's like Android Studio has this kind of flaws. It varies in different places because of the small files that they had or something like this. As I said, a colleague of mine had an issue there in the Java files. He wasn't able to go to the object references or go to the parent classes or something like that because all of them were red. Like they were looking really ugly. And let me check. Actually, if I can find something, because I think I had something like this in a project that we had. If I can find it. Okay, meanwhile my project opens, I will explain this. I mean, this can happen. This can happen that it can give you a really weird error and not build your project, for example. And in the other projects, in all of the other computers, it can work just fine. For example, an issue that I had, let me show you. It's related to this. So I have this line of code to create a version number according to the Git commit numbers. Okay, so we can differentiate whether did we do something wrong or right. And yeah, but I know that's what I'm explaining. And it was the same for my colleague too. Like it was all red and it was looking like it's error, imports were not working or something. But when we build, everything is working fine. Anyway, my problem is, for example, I have this line of code, and when I run this line of code, it doesn't work in my PC, no matter what I do. It works in all the PCs around the world besides mine, I think. So this is something that Android Studio has, this flakiness that it has. It can change between operating systems. Maybe it's affected by a small directory or something. I'm not the expert on that, but it has these flaws. It's disturbing. I know that you're disturbed about this, but it's how it is. So it's, as I said, it's not your side, it's in their side. So I'm sure that it will be fixed. I mean, don't feel like you're the only one. No, I had this issue. My colleagues had this issue. My friends had this issue. It's not related to your setup. It's just under Studio. But yeah, but since you saw it's working in the virtual machine, you can be 100% sure about yourself that it's not related to you. Any other questions from anyone? I don't know if you remember my yesterday issue. I want to say that I solved it moving the risk programming team. Do you think that it's a good solution or is it like a workaround? Okay, Francesco, can you please send me your project link again? Because as I said, I deleted everything yesterday. Just send me the link again. I want to see your solution, and then I want to make a comment if it's good or how can we do it better without doing it programmatically. Just send me the link and I will check out your code and tell me, of course, if it's master branch and if your project is updated. I remember your issue. It's in my mind, so I can directly test it. If anyone else has any question related to anything, just ask me. Francisco, it's the master branch, right? I will download the master branch now. Okay, perfect. So I'm downloading the project from Francisco and now I remember I need to add the property to the Gradle file. Let me check. Just give me a second, please. I need to build this project. So Well, I'm building his project, so you can see it. Check how it works. Let me close mine here and open this. Good. Yeah, perfect. So class my gate was really I was to make a poll and ended up with losing what I did during the inspector. This can happen to anyone, don't worry. Don't worry, Antonio. Antonio said chaos. My gate was ruined. Suggested to make a pool and ended up losing what I did during the night inspector. No worries. No worries. So, the good thing is, since you know it right now, you will do it even faster. No worries. So, why am I not able to run this? That's odd. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, there's something wrong. Let me restart my Android Studio. Yeah, if you wait 52 years for Gradle build, it will take time for sure. Yeah, of course, Jonathan. Just give me a second with Francesco's question. I will help you. Could you please share me your code if it's on the GitHub or something? If it's not on the GitHub, I can just show you how you can do it and you can implement it. It's totally up to you. If you want to share your code, I can help you with that code. If you don't want to share your code, I can understand it too, and I can just say that I can just give you the details on how to do it. So it's totally up to you, Jonathan. After I deal with Francesco's issue, I will continue with yours. Not even an issue, actually. Okay, perfect. Cool, now it started. And this video is a bit weird. Every time when you have an issue, keep in mind that invalidate caches and restart. It always works. It was the same for this project too. Another one. Yeah. But as I said, for example, as you mentioned, Natalia had the same issue, but it could be dealt with something else. By the way, I have issues with everything from the beginning of the school. So all the time I hear yes, you feel. Okay, I don't have how to say, I don't have permission to check the Udacity forums because since I'm only a Slack guy, I'm on Slack. So I'm not able to see what you had in your link, let's say, Slavek. And I have used to working with these. Yes, I was working with Malgorzata, and she has the same problems with the render. I mean, as I said, if her problem doesn't happen, if her problem doesn't solve with the links that I shared yesterday, then I'm not sure, because yesterday when I go home, I also checked those out, but everywhere that I go, it's like either they were telling people to lower the SDK because maybe you didn't install the SDK, or your project is not supporting the SDK, or they were saying that just invalidate caches and restart, or do something different. So it's Jonathan, if you can share it with Git, it would be better for me, because I mean, since I don't have all of your project, I cannot say that. If it's saying that null, then it means that your player is null. Are you sure that you're as you see here, your player is not initialized here? So that's why it's given an error. Let me show you by screen share, Jonathan. So as you see in this position, you're trying to get player that current position, but before that you didn't initialize this player, because you need to initialize player with the factory. It's not like classic butter knife, so that's why it gives a null pointer exception here. Plus in here you are not saving it, you are trying to get the current position. So let me give you a link so you can learn about how to handle the orientation changes. So moment, please. I mean, Jonathan, I recommend you to check on save instance state handling configuration changes lessons, and you can check this link that I'm going to share to learn about how to save the values in the orientation change, because you seem like you're doing this wrong because you have maybe understand it wrong. Could you please check this link to learn first how to handle configuration changes? It gives a lesson about on-save instance state and etc., so you can have a bit idea about it. So back to Francesco's code. Let me see first how you handled it. Okay. Fragment, recipe detail fragment. Okay, so they were. So you wanted to keep everything as it is in here, as it was before. You wanted to keep the nested scroll viewer. And what you did is Francesco, do you say that you are moving the recycler view in recipe detail fragment? because I can't see it there. You were doing some things, yeah, but I can't see. Yeah. So what you do is here. I mean, yeah, okay, perfect. Then I was right. So I'm going to share the screen now, so we can see his code and we can explain what he did. And moment. What is this? Just a second, please. And what is the question, Slavik? If you ask the question, it would be better, of course. So let's open the. So this is his project. I want to check something. One moment. I'm gonna show his API key. Yeah, okay. So it's done. Let me share the screen again. So this is our screen, and as you see here, he had this design. His activity is like this: when you go a bit up, when the toolbar is collapsed, the color changes, and yeah, the text is visible. And here is the same. And what he did also in here is that this one. So first of all, in here, what he did is checks if the toolbar is collapsed, and if the toolbar is collapsed, change the background color and show the title. And in here, what he does is when we have the when we change the coordinated layout, let's see, position or etc., it moves the recycle view with it, and in this way he says that this means that invalidate every time that it happens, so it changes every time. Francesco, it works, yeah, and yeah, it will do the trick, but the thing is, the link that I sent you yesterday was doing exactly the same thing. I mean, I implemented that, so I remember it without the. Let me go back to the emulator so I can show you. Yesterday, it was doing exactly the same thing as you had here without the title. And since you had implemented this title, let me get rid of this. Yeah. Since you implemented this title programmatically, I don't think that it's necessary to have this nested scroll view at all, because in the link that I sent you yesterday, if you implement your layout according to that with coordinator layout and app bar layout, you can see that it's working as the same way as you do right now. So it works fine. Yeah, probably it will pass the rubric element, but I would try to implement in the way that I sent you yesterday, because the thing that you do here is I'm relatively sure that if it didn't work for you yesterday, you have missed the point. So please be careful about it. Because as I said, yesterday I implemented and it was doing exactly the same thing without the title color change. And you can do the title color change as you have created in this, in the class that you had with the add bar layout dot on offset change listener method. Because it doesn't look like it's natural here. So if you don't want to have natural view at all, I would just I would just keep it as it is. Sorry, I would just try to implement it as I told you yesterday. But all in all, it works. If it works for you, fine. And if you're happy with it, you can send it. As I said, from my perspective, you can do better than this with the approach that I had yesterday. So like, if you don't ask questions, I cannot answer it. What are these logs belonging into? I'm not sure. But P1 and P2. Now what is but without consequences. About P1 and P2, I know what is problem. It occurs when I have open structure window in Android Studio, so I can't use them. It's okay, I used to it. P3 I have regularly, but without consequences. The fourth thing, I guess, is what we talked about yesterday. Now, I think all of them are connected. Of course, I tried many configurations. Let me read it. These are ID errors. I mean, these are not something that I can do something about. I wish that I could. I mean, as you see, they even say that report to Google because I don't know. Let me check it. I mean, yeah, complex day by day. I mean, in Google, there are plenty of things, but as I said, it's not. It's not something that I can do something about. This is Android Studio error. I mean, what I can do is the same thing that you can do to Google it. I'm sorry, this is not like a project thing, or it's not something like a code related thing, so I can fix it. It's completely program related. So no matter what you share with me, or no matter what you do here, I'm not able to do extra because you're not next to me, so I can try something. And everything that I would try is on Google. So what I suggest you to Google it. Because as I said, this is not related to neither of the projects. I'm 100% sure, let's say 99% sure that it's related to Android Studio. And since even the errors that you have is IDE errors, I cannot do anything about it. I'm sorry. Let me check. So first thing you're missing here is, okay, easy. Sally, I'm getting a null pointer exception now. I tried to implement the changes you suggested and look at it. I mean, null pointer exception means that you are missing a point. I mean, in here, we mostly don't want to give the direct answer to you guys. Null pointer exception is you're missing a point from what I told you. Let me check. Data, no. Adapters. Let me download your code easy. Right now, I'm opening the project. So, okay. First thing you're missing is so easy. I hope that you're there. So I try to explain. First of all, this doesn't look like what I was doing. So this doesn't look like you have tried to Google it, but what I did was like if the saved instance state is null, then create it and create the fragments. This was the first thing that I did because I wanted to keep your code as it is. So, and there's a duplicate code here, which was unnecessary because as far as I remember, you had a different approach. So since in some occasions you are not creating the video fragment as you do here, it's giving this error. So what I would do is try to do it in a way that I did. I mean, if I had the previous code that you had, maybe I have it, I'm not sure. No, not this one. Okay, add master. So I will show the previous code. Ah, no, it's deleted. As I said, I mean, in the previous one, you were creating the video fragment once here and once here. You were not doing this extra thing here. So what I suggested you to only in this class to put this here at the top of this if-else statement. So what I suggest is revert this and only add this. And the second is in your fragment, first fragment, yeah. Not on stop, but on destroy. Not on stop, but on destroy. Then this is okay, this is okay. This is wrong. This means that you don't, I mean, you don't need this. This doesn't help you with anything. This says that do not create this fragment on orientation change. It will not help you with anything. So I would delete this too. If you remember, I said that delete this in on create view. Yeah, this is correct. In on destroy, release it. This is correct. And save it. This is correct. All of the rest is correct. Only thing that you need to revert is this part. Revert this part to it was before and just add a saved instance state here. Okay? I hope that this answers easy. As I said, the problem is in this receipt detail phone class. You need to revert this and add only this one. So I was combining what is in the what you suggested. I mean, this is like in German they say either or situation. Like you need to pick one, not both. And what I would suggest is, since I showed you more visual way, I would go with mine in the beginning. They're working, but the implementation is not 100% correct. I know this link. I will check this first. I will answer Slovak really quickly. Of course, I just share with like you. Yeah. I mean, I said I had any. If you have any questions, but since we have worked out on this all the time, but if you have any other questions besides this, like Android related or I don't know about other technologies or whatever it is, I can try to answer those. With this one, since we have been trying from yesterday, and I also tried to find a solution, believe it or not, yesterday when I go home, but still, more or less the things were the same. So if you have any other questions, go for it. So, as I said, it's like pick one. I mean, either forget mine, do not do the save instance state work, but you are in this one, sometimes you are missing to create a fragment. So just look at the code a bit more carefully and you would see, I'm sure that you would see what you're missing. Anyone has any other questions? Let me check Slavic. Modern world. Sometimes these ID problems can be really big issues to the people. It can really be frustrating to developers. Modern node icon develop decorator. Yeah. Anyone has any other questions about anything? About Android technology or other stuff? At the idea first, because I'm not able to answer those. But besides that, if you have any other questions, try to answer it. I will try to answer it, so just shoot it. Any questions, guys? Please. I'm available for any questions. Ask me. Good, easy. I'm happy. Yeah, about the null pointer exceptions. Always try to look for how you create the objects in your classroom easy. I mean, null pointer exceptions are, I'm going to be honest with you, null pointer exceptions are the most beautiful exceptions that you can get, because you can directly dive into the place that it's not working and you can check it out if it, which part are you missing. Okay, Maciej had an issue. Moment. In such a project, how would you organize your work? Where would you start? What would you do? The last, etc. Okay, good question, Maciej. So what I would do is, like, I mean, in each project, recording the moment, yeah, a good structure. So, if you are, okay. So what I would do is, I would always start in this kind of projects. I would always start with the start page. Moment, please. So in this kind of projects, I will always start with the start page, because in the start page, you are doing most of the things that your app does. Because you're doing your API calls, you are doing your database operations and stuff. I mean, saving the database operations. So what I would do is to start with the HTTP call and the main page part, because after the point that you have your after the point that you have your data, the rest of it is like bridge connection logic. Like when you have the data, you will go for the next one. You will go for the more private one, because it's always easier to go from a general one to private one. So what I would go first, the main part, the list of recipes. The second would be the steps, and the third would be step detail for the logic part. And for the view part, what I would do is to create first the font. But meanwhile I created, I should keep in mind that I would have tablet approach. So when I create this tablet approach, I know that I need two different fragments. And since I know that I need two different fragments, I would create my font views also with fragments. So after I'm done with the font view, I would go for the tablet one. And yeah, as structural wise, if I'm not following any like pattern or architecture or something, what I would do is, let me open my project. Open bakery API. Meanwhile, I open it. I hope this answered your first part, Maciej. If it doesn't, rephrase the question. I will try to give more details. Meanwhile, I open the project of mine. So so what I did in the package wise is, like, you can also see it here. Yeah, what I did in the package wise, since I didn't follow any like patterns or something, I did like in a really basic way. So what I did is try to separate everything, like this adapter here, API here, fragments in fragment, models in model class, and widget related things in the widget class. What I could also do is create a util for utility things and move my constants here. And of course, I could have created an activity package and move my two activities here. So the idea is always try to like if you don't follow anything, the idea is always try to put everything into a place that you can separate it easily. But if you, of course, if you follow the architectural things, then it would make sense because it would be modularized. And when something is more modular, you can just get rid of some parts that you didn't want to, and the cleanup would be super easy. But since I didn't do it because of the scope of the project, I just created these simple packages for the approach. Why not by feature? It's totally a matter of choice. As I said, I didn't want to, since the activity Slavic is asking by the way, why not by feature? And it's totally because of personal reason. The project is not big, and as I said, if I was following any architectural things, I would do it by the feature wise. I would do by the operation wise. For example, if it was a to-do app, I would create add part, edit part, and like detailed part. And as I mentioned, if you modelize according to the features, it's more easy to handle the cases. For example, if I don't need the added part in the feature, the deletion and the maintaining the project would be easier. I hope this answers Slavic. Any other questions, anyone? So generally you start with the UI, work around UI needs. So generally you start, exactly. But as I said, you're talking about this. In professional life, it's completely different because you have your kickoff meetings, you make architectural decisions with your team and etc. So for this project, what I would do is like put the UI things in some place, and so start with UI and do the UI related thing, because this means in this kind of thing, sorry, you are learning stuff. And since you are learning, it's better to do step by step. This is my opinion. If you do, for example, learn first the HTTP request, that's good because it's in the main page. Then you can learn about some other things. So what I would do is, and what I did, as you see, was like this. Then you can move a whole or part of them. I mean, it's more Slavic sense. Then you can move a whole or part of them to another project. As I said, maintainability with the future approach is definitely makes more sense. Plus, it's more readable. For example, yesterday, let me check the name of the student. Moment, please. Yeah, Jaume asked me a question about MVVM, and when I gave him an example from Google's approach, as you know, in Google's MVVM example, if you don't know it, you go check it out. It's really cool. They have used the same approach, and I told him to check directly some feature part, like check edit task part. So he would be able to check the core, what's going on around it. So when you can see the core, it's easier. Feature wise, I mean, yeah, it would make sense. But as I said, these are learning curves. So these projects are learning curves for you guys. And for me, it would be way better to learn how you implement those stuff than going for quick architectural decisions. Because, I mean, I'm a person who likes to learn from scratch to top, not start from medium and I don't care about the bottom. So it's like building a structure more efficiently. This is what I would suggest. And so, yeah, you can ask even job related. If I know the answer, I will try my best. But if you ask me like, do you have a job? Yeah, I have a job, but I don't have a job for you. Yeah, ask me anything. In professional life, it's completely different organization things. Maciej, you're sitting with your team, you're making your decisions, you are even creating a huge board. And if you follow different approaches like agile methodologies, Scrum, Kanban, you're creating your things according to that. It's completely different. And then it changes everything. Plus, you make extra architectural decisions within your app and according to your packages and etc. So in professional life, it's completely different. But in these simple cases, I don't spend too much time on this. You can ask your question here, Enzo. Any other questions, anyone? Enzo, I'm waiting for your question. If you ask, I will be here. So we have a question. Okay, thanks. So if I was to create my app from scratch and I wanted to do it in professional way, is there a Udacity course or resource that would? Well, I would give a break in 5 minutes and I will ask this to our community managers and I will share it with you. Maciej. Okay. I will ask these questions to them, like if they have a project management course or etc. that you can follow, and I will tell you. But if they don't, I will try to find some links to you for the with the blog post and stuff anyway. So Enzo had a question about the Android there was an Android developer. Yeah, this is a senior position because even it says that it's mentoring junior developers is one of the key responsibilities. And they say that they are looking for a senior developer, and so it means that it's a senior position. I mean, they expect a lot of things, but they have perks. So all I can say is that they are looking for something. Someone senior with experience, so they can teach others some things too. Okay. There is a there was a post from my friend Maciej. If I can find that, it would really be good. So, not this one. Wow, this one was really good. I mean, what I find is always a bit more harder than it seems. It depends. I mean, Maciej, Slovak's opinions are really good, but as I said, it depends on the project. For example, if you have a sprint logic with Scrum, let's say, to, for example, create first a basic project, then add the features, then create your objectives according to that. But if you would like to create everything at once, then exactly do what Slavik suggested. It's a good idea. Make everything more visual, like create a table with notes, maybe with, let me find it. Yeah. For example, this is a blog post about Trello. Trello is a platform that you can check and create table and make everything more visual and stuff. So you can read this too. And yeah, do not work in everything at once, but try to work everything in with really small amount of work. Not do everything at once. I will give a break now for 15 minutes, and when I come back, I will answer your question, Robin, because I need to drink water and like, yeah. Just give me 15 minutes. When I come back, I will answer your question, Robin. Yeah, hello everyone. I'm here. So let me rephrase it for one more time. So, what you think of the class to start? Okay. Tools I'm talking about the AZ process. I end up with something like Trello in my notebook, but there are some main tasks. DB, contemporary. I'm looking for. Then, as I said, this looks. What I would do is I will just give a pause, Robin. I need to answer Maciej for something. Maciej, what I would do is create UI for mobile. No. Definitely do not leave the database to the end. So what I would do is do the main page, do the API call, do the database operations, then go for the detail activity, do the detail, then do the tablet, then fix this bug. This is what I would suggest. And so, moment. So, Robin had a question. He says, Sadi, in your professional career as an Android developer, what is the most challenging thing to implement or work within Android? Okay, so let me think about it a little bit. What was the most challenging thing? I mean, I think the most hardest thing that for me to understand was Dagger dependency injections, because I was able to use it, but I didn't understand what it was doing. And it took me a while to like handle everything perfectly in the Dagger. I think in Android world it was like this. And besides the technical approach, I think one of the hardest point is to work with the customers, because sometimes they can like do as they want and they don't let you update it about the situation. So you get this ping pong behavior with the features that you need to send it to the customer again, coming backwards and forwards. This can be frustrating. But in Android, the biggest challenge that I had was like, yeah, I think the Dagger was like a bit up in the air for a while for me. Because dependency injection, understand dependency injection, I don't know why, but it took me a while for me. I hope that it answers you. But if you have like more detailed questions, just ask me, Robin. I will answer that, of course. So, and as I said, thanks. You're welcome. And so, Rafael, damn it, I got here late because I was fighting that. It happens. Slovak has the same issue. Slovak has plenty of Android Studio problems. So this happens. Don't worry. Don't be frustrated about it. I'm on Chepri or Rafael. Hey, Natalia. Hey, welcome. Hey, Fernando. Hi, Easy. I'm now going to implement a media session in my app. Would you suggest doing this in the fragment or supporting activity? Wow. I need to remember what media session was. Allows interaction with media controls, volume keys, media buttons, and transport controls. A media session should be created when an app wants to publish media playback information or handle media keys. I mean, as as far as I understand, this media session is related to the key behaviors of the media. As I said, I didn't use it before, so I don't know this. And it looks like it's for media controllers, volume keys, media buttons, etc. So if you're going to use it with the media, yeah, with the video, it obviously belongs to your video fragment easy. Ruslan has asked, hi Sally, is it a good practice to add replace a fragment from another fragment, or is better to handle adding replacing fragment from activity? Personally, I mean, it depends on your needs, let's say. So, for example, if you have next and previous buttons in a fragment, of course, it makes sense to do that operation in the fragment, Ruslan. But if you have a activity at top of everything, has all the control. So what I would suggest to keep everything more clean, I would put and keep everything in the activity as it is. I hope that this answers your question, Ruslan. Fernando, yeah, I did the same thing, Fernando. I left the dagger for last. It took me a while. I mean, when you understand it, you see it like it goes really fast. But when you don't understand it, everything stands up in the air. It's like, why is it here? Why is it that? Yeah, like what is provided and etc. But when you see how it works, actually you are able to see the advantages of it. It's really good. But what I would say when you're learning it, Fernando, do not like be hard on yourself. As I said, I was in that position and I know that it takes time. But if you learn better than me, of course, you are smart guys. That's better. Any other questions, anyone? Or if something is not clear with my explanations, you can always talk about it too, so I can give more details about it. So I think you're welcome. You're welcome, Ruslan. So, okay, so I have a question. I'm having troubles implementing back arrow in my activities. I'm setting okay, and then okay. And open detail activity, it says I call virtual method on null object. Okay, so Nathaniel's question. Okay, so I have a question. Yeah, I'm having troubles implementing back arrow in my activities. Yeah, I'm setting. Moment. Okay, that's better to have the GitHub account. And then yeah, but my app crashes when I want to open detail activity. It says I call virtual. So what I'm going to do, Nathaniel, is right now I will obviously download the project and open it in my app to see the crash by myself, because sometimes it can be up in the air. So give me a second, please. So making a master. So of course, no worries, no worries. So do I have to do this? To do this way? Okay, Anima, I didn't understand the question. Do I have to do this way to do this way? To put a list? Could you rephrase your question, please? Thank you. And yeah, I'm going to work on Natalia's app now. Let me open the emulator really quickly. So filling up. It's not a Fernando. It's not a should question. It's a matter of choice. Do you think that if it looks good, show a message? Sorry, show an image, not message. I'm sorry. Show an image. I mean, I have showed an image. I also have created some fallback images if there are none for the steps too. I think I'm not sure. So it's totally up to you. It's not a requirement. Please comment. Okay, we'll show on the text for now and improve the UI. It's totally up to you, Fernando. Totally up to you. So right now I have opened the project of Natalia, and I will check her issue now. Moment, please. And change around the manifest. No, I think it's completely different. Let me check it. Or you can try meanwhile. Here's opinion. It's always welcome to have the fellow students, as long as you let me know too. So there is one issue. So, moment please. Yeah. Let me check the style. Okay. The detail activity. Let me do some changes, Natalia, and tell you. Please. Meanwhile, if you have any other questions, you can ask me. Okay, I think I know the issue now. So let me test it. So, moment. Okay. So, do you have an external server? On the issue. Ah, come on. Okay. Okay, Natalia, if you're there, just ping me here. So I will explain this, and if you're tell me if you're okay if I show your code to the students and stuff. If you're okay with these, then tell me, so I will explain everything in the code. Yeah, sure, perfect. So now I will open the code page and share everything. So I will not fix everything, obviously, but I will show how you fix it and do the thing. So you had this code and you had this error here. And one of the reasons is that in the theme page, you're saying that there is no action bar because you have a custom action bar, which I understand. And you say that no title. So in these circumstances, you cannot call support action bar because your style says, I don't have any action bar. That's why it returns null. So when you delete this, it would be fine. But there is another issue here. Under your detail activity, you have a detail fragment, and in the detail fragment, you have created a support action bar. So these two will conflict because it will say, I already have a support action bar. And I assume that you already had created those lines to have to get rid of this. So for now, first, I will just delete this and do the thing here. And so I have run the app. So as you see, yeah, we have two action bars because the one that you have created and the other one created by the Android environment. So as you see, the behavior works fine with this. So what you can do to fix this issue is either you can revert this and get rid of this here and get rid of this here. Sorry, not get rid of, but move this to here. I hope that it's not created. And I would say get activity that get on back pressed. Probably it would solve the issue. I haven't tried it. Let's try it together and let's see. But yeah, because I haven't had the up button here. Sorry. Where is your, yeah, let me go back. Yeah. So I have added this. I have get activity that on back press and set please set display home as enabled. So I will delete this again because I don't need this, and I will take this and say get support action bar. That's this, and I will say true to this. I think this would work fine. But all in all, what I would suggest is to go for the first approach, not the second one. So I think this would be fine. Yeah, see, in this way, this would work. It's totally up to you, but I hope that you right now you can see the problem now, Natalia. If you can see the problem now, just let me know in the thread so I can continue with the other questions. And Anima's question, hi, Sai. Yeah. Do I have to transform my list in an array list to put the data in my fragment bundle? Yes, you have to, unfortunately. Because array list is a parsable. You're welcome, Natalia. Because array list is part of parsable part, and you cannot do it the other way around. What you can do is to cast it, not turn it, but cast it by using two parentheses and write an array list. But it's just a workaround. I would work with array lists anyway. They're useful too. Jaume has a question. I have implemented what we talked about yesterday, one view model for steps fragment and another for steps detail fragment. Since I need to improve my SQL knowledge, I thought that making a method in repository that retrieves the data would be simpler. Besides the sample you sent me yesterday, I have also checked the sample. If you can take a look. You're welcome, Anima. Method in repository. So you want to have the get recipe. Okay, then, Jaume, I will put this on hold for a moment, please. There was a question from Antonia. I started a log that shows the live data when set the true to code evaluates the true and false. I thought it was fine, but it seems that after run the app for a little, this starts happening weird. Okay. Which one should I? Yeah. Okay, I will continue with Jaume's question first because yeah, I will continue with Jaume's question first, and go with Antonio's question. Because Antonio's question is more or less more going deep, and yours is a bit more easy to maintain. So let's check it. Okay, I'm downloading your project, Jaume, now. Okay, so let me clean up my workspace a little bit. So. Okay. So. And download baking app. That's there. Okay. Okay, excuse me for a moment. I need to open the window. Yeah. So. Fernando had a question. Meanwhile, I will take a look at it really quickly. So in main activity, should we show an image of the, okay, we have answered. Building layouts takes a lot of time, at least for me. Any advice how to build them faster, or this is something that will go with exercises practice? Fernando, it will go by exercises practice, but what you can do is to learn something like useful, like constraint layout, to have less nested views and more readable XML code. Other way around, this is how it is. I mean, I don't know any other way besides the fact that you need to create everything one by one. This is how it is, I'm sorry. And it's a matter of practice. You need some time. And when you have enough time on this, as everything, you will be faster. But as I said, if you learn something useful like constraint layout, it would go even faster. Sorry that I missed your question for a moment. Okay. Now. Okay, perfect. If you know the constraint layout, besides that, there's nothing it makes easier than that. I mean, I remember the times that we didn't have it, and you need to have like plenty of nested views to get something that you wanted. It was too much. It was too much. So, moment. Okay, now I'm on Joma's project. So he had a method, get step. So I will check it out really quickly. So I will rephrase this question again. Hi, Sally. I have implemented what we talked about yesterday. One view model for steps fragment and another for steps detail fragment. Perfect. Good idea. Since I need to improve my SQL knowledge, I thought that making a method in repository that retrieves data would be simpler. Okay, yeah. Besides the sample you sent me yesterday, I have also checked this sample. Yeah, that's good. I know this one. I mean, the sample that I sent you was like completely related to MVVM, because MVVM is a different pattern and they were using live data in it. So I thought that it would be useful for you. Anyway, besides the sample, okay, you check this. Here's my code. If you can take, yeah, I can take a look into it. So how did you get this step? Get step. Now get recipe. From recipes where ID goes to recipe. Recipe ID map recipe that get steps. Get step ID. I mean, this is doing the trick, right? With a little help. Wow. Sorry, I'm distracted because this cat is so cute, Natalia. It looks so nice. Okay, so back to Jaume's question. Jaume, this will work for now, but what I would suggest is, for a step forward, have a different DAO for these steps. I mean, right now, as we talked, this will work. No worries. This is not wrong. And as we talked yesterday, I also advise you to do so. And since this is working, leave it as it is for now. But as a step forward, learn how to get related data, how to do database operations. What is one-to-one? What is one-to-many? What is many-to-many? Learn about those stuff. Like, for example, if one and what happens if one recipe has only one step, I mean, one step group or something. So this would be good for now, but if you don't want to create another DAO, at least check how to use database relations, Java. Okay? Yeah, that's all good. That's so cute, Natalia. So, to the next one. Antonio, back to your project, man. Meanwhile, if you have any other questions, just send it about anything, as I said. Like Robin's question, if you have something like this, you can ask even more. I will try my best to answer, obviously. And I will check out Antonio's branch for now. So I'm checking. I will run your app now, Antonio. So I'm waiting for the build. Okay, so here we go. So let me check it. Where was the logs, Antonio? Could you please rephrase it? Where did you put the logs? Anybody has any questions? Anything? Feel free to ask about anything. Right now, I'm only occupied with Antonio's question. If you have any other question that you would like to learn or ask, feel free. Yeah, so with Google working on Fuji and Flutter, are you thinking that companies will start demanding mobile developers with these skills rather than Android expertise anytime in the future? New technologies. So I would like to reread out loud Robin's question. Meanwhile, I wait for Antonio's answer. So, with Google working on Fuchsia and Flutter, are you thinking that companies will start demanding mobile developers with these skills rather than Android expertise anytime in the near future? No, I don't think so. Because, yeah, they are making a lot of... just a moment, please. Okay, I will go back to Antonio's question in a moment after I explain Robin's question. So, with Google, I mean, Fuchsia and Flutter are some... Okay, first of all, let me rephrase it. Google is making plenty of stuff, and you can see some of them are working, some of them are not working in the past. So what I would suggest is you shouldn't be afraid of any new technology that it will replace the one that we already have. This is really important. I mean, the answer to your first question is no, and I don't think that it will replace Android expertise in the near future. What they want to have with Flutter is completely different than what they were trying to achieve in Fuchsia. Flutter is a platform for example, the story of Flutter is they wanted to create an application for both platforms with a really fluent way and with an efficiency, obviously. So what they did is using a dead language that they have created before to create this Flutter thing. So what they created is they have created and written everything for both platforms from scratch for Flutter. So that's why it works for both platforms, and that's why it's efficient, and that's why it's easy to maintain. And this could only be useful in a company that is doing applications for advertisement stuff, like Google Ads is using this, obviously, or some simple apps. But it depends. It's like React Native. Sorry, React. Some companies are looking for React Native developers, but still, it changes a lot. It varies a lot. I mean, most of the companies will continue with the native development because you cannot handle everything in cross-platform. Not in the near future. Even in Flutter, for example, we are developing an app in my company with Flutter, and there are some cases that we needed to handle for both platforms separately. But most of the time, it was saving the date. And the second question, and are you currently working with or familiarizing yourself with these new technologies? I'm working on Flutter a lot recently. I have written a blog post, and I'm writing one more right now about Flutter. The one that I had before was a beginner post. The one that I'm written right now is testing related. So I'm trying to keep up with Flutter because Flutter seems really fun. And yeah. But this is what we do. If you're a mobile developer, you need to get your hands dirty for all the fields. And for the future, I mean, as I said, I cannot see future obviously, but as far as I can tell from that approach and from the information that I have right now, like official numbers are like there are around more than 1 billion device or 2 billion device of Android in the world. And let's assume that like 300 million of them is like real Android devices that people uses, but it's more, but let's be like humble about it. And I don't think that in 1, 2 years or 3 years it would be replaced by Fuji or something. But I mean, I cannot tell the future. I cannot say that what will happen in 10 years. But my assumption, in 5, 6 years, we will have what we have right now. What I would suggest is, if you want to, like, after the 9 degree, if you want to dive into something, you can dive into Kotlin. Kotlin is really hype. Kotlin is really going forward for both platforms. Yeah, you need to write in Kotlin's approach. You can write your business logic for both platforms, but for the native part, you need to write code for each platform. But still, it's a good approach. And if you want to learn something that you can create an app really quickly with efficiency, I can recommend Flutter. I hope this answers you, Robin. Yeah, even in my company, we have like plenty of projects, and like we only have one Flutter, and rest is native apps. Okay, back to Antonio's question. Okay, I don't know if I explained. The problem comes from on a smartphone. We are on TTS fragment, and we click ingredients. Okay, so I click on one. No worries. If you have any other questions, you can ask it too. I mean, I like talking about new technologies. I find Flutter and Kotlin amazing, so it's totally up to you guys. So meanwhile, I'm checking your questions. I'm also checking Antonio's question. So I will debug this a little bit. I mean, Jaume, you don't need to be an SQL expert, but it's really useful to learn this stuff in this case. Jose, it's a good question. I even made a presentation in my company about it. I mean, honestly, I prefer butter knife, but it depends on plenty of variables. Like if you go for MVVM, data binding makes more sense, and so on. So, but if my architectural decision lets me, let's say, I would go for butter knife. And if I'm going for Kotlin, I would go for Kotlin Android extensions over everything, over butter knife, over data binding. I like Kotlin Android extensions approach more. So, all is true, all is false. Change. Yeah, no worries. No worries, Jose. So I click ingredients. True, false. Cheers. Sort of had that assumption, but I just wanted you to confirm. I mean, as I said, just bear in mind that Android is not a 1 year technology. It's a huge technology, and Google is making still plenty of investment on it, not just on like Flutter or Fuchsia. They are recruiting like the best Android developers on the earth, and still they are doing some investment on Kotlin or other stuff, so they're not looking like to give up from Android, obviously, because why do you spend billions of dollars on something and say that, okay, I don't want this anymore? I don't think that in the near future something will change. Most of the things will stay still, I think. Image frame, that should be correct. Should be true, should be false. Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? We have like 24 minutes left. Antonio, meanwhile, I'm checking your code. So don't worry, I didn't forget about you. So position is 0. Need to relate like data, yeah, like data, this switching, blah blah blah. Okay. I think I understand the thing. Moment, please. I will answer your question, Jose. Just give me a second, please. Thank you. So, other than Android Studio, what other tools do you use? What do you mean? Like for development or for other things? I'm not sure what you meant. Antonio, I fixed your issue. If you're online, just ping me. I will explain the issue to you, okay? I couldn't, sorry. No, I couldn't. That's weird. Okay, so I have a question, Antonio. So after the video finishes, do you want to show the explanation text? Please answer it. Yeah, a spot guess something. Okay, so anything for design? No, I don't use anything for design because we have a designer. So for design, we are using Adobe's tools that our designer is creating something. We are using Zeppelin, something called Zeppelin. Zeppelin is there for designer to create some screens that can create the headings and other stuff. And just a moment, Jose, I will explain everything from scratch. So, Antonio, do you want to show the explanation text after video finishes, or do you want to stay in the video page even though the video finishes? Let me show you what I mean. Let me sorry, first answer me, then let me show you what I have right now, and tell me if it's wrong or right, because it seems like it's correct. Waiting for your answer, Antonio. I want to change the ingredients frame when I'm on smartphone, but it shows the steps fragment. Change the ingredients fragment when I'm on smartphone. Okay. Okay. Change the ingredients fragment when I'm on smartphone. Antonio, I want to show what I have right now. I'm not sure if I understand correctly, so tell me if this is correct or not. Okay, if it's okay, just right here. I have something right now. It looks fine, but I'm not sure if it's working fine for you. Okay, perfect. So, dear student, so I close this one. So this is your app, and I have restarted your app. So right now, when I click ingredients, it shows some ingredients. And yeah, it shows some ingredients. It was showing the other thing before. And when I click recipe introduction, it shows the video and it plays the video, as you see. And when the video is finished, it goes to the next activity. Is this behavior correct? Waiting for your answer. Okay, so I will show you what you did wrong there. Again, by screen share, so you can see it directly. So you had this before, and when you don't have a parenthesis, it will only cover this, and it will keep working with these. So what I did is to add this parenthesis here, and it worked just fine. Okay, problem is completely different. Okay, yeah. Select the details. Yeah. I will go back to this topic after I answer Jose's question, Robin. Give me a second, please. So let's pick ingredients. Yes, afterwards. Shows the ingredients. No, it shows the ingredient with my approach. Do the thing that I have changed. Let me show you in the screen again. See? So I'm in details. Now I go to the ingredient. It's here. I go to all recipes again. I click here. I open this. Click ingredient. It shows ingredient. So perfect. Your, but the good thing is your implementation was correct. You should be proud of it. And this error can happen to anybody. No worries, no worries. I'm glad that I could help you, Antonio. So back to Jose's question. Jose, what I'm using is, as I said, something called Zeppelin. Zeppelin is a designer tool that our designer is using, and it really helps you to have some like dimensions and other stuff really easily. So it's really useful. And the other things that I'm using, of course, the GitHub. I'm using source tree for uh, source tree for Git and other operations. It's really good for the tracking of bugs and stuff. We are using Hockey app. Hockey app also helps us to create an early version for the customer. It's really useful. And what else I can think of? I mean, for development, I obviously use Android Studio. And when I develop something in iOS, I use either Xcode or AppCode from IntelliJ. What else I can think of? I use Unity time to time because I'm into VR. And yeah, that's all I can think of right now. Jose, if you have more questions, I will explain. Robin, actually, I met the guy who was in the Fragmented podcast about Flutter. He lives in Berlin, so we were talking about it. So it's as I said, Flutter is like the way that they created Flutter is like they wanted to have something for themselves in the beginning to create the ads application from Google, and they did it, and no one understand the difference between the real app and the Flutter app when they created the first app. Okay, so one of the things about Flutter is that it's still in no, like even you go to Medium, there like you can find maximum 200 or 100, maybe not even 100 people talking about it, and there are like 250 or 300 posts about it. It's not very widely, but the thing about it is that it's screen wise, like in each second the screen is renewed, but the good thing is it's not a burden to your system. So renewed and getting rid of, renewed and getting rid of. The Flutter is really useful on that case, and it's really efficient, really fast. As I said, there are still some things that they are going to cover, obviously, because it's in beta, not in release. Even in Android, they're making changes and it's in release for years. So I wouldn't be harsh on Flutter in that case. For example, if I need to choose between Flutter and Xamarin, I would definitely choose Flutter. If I need to choose cross-platform instead of Flutter, I would go for React Native. And yeah, that's it. As I said, Flutter is really, really nice. It's really easy to understand. And what you can create is really, really, really amazing. And every day people are working on new they're creating new libraries and stuff. It takes some time to make it. So, I mean, they're like really, really working on this. They have created everything to be able to give you the nice development environment that you already have in Android. Cool workspace, easy. You have a good view. Any questions? Any more questions that you have in your mind, people? We have last 10 minutes. Come on. If you have any questions about anything again, go for it. I will do my best to explain. Sorry. Yeah, small question again. So, what Android app or part of an app? Wow. I don't know. The most proud of, I would say, in Germany, there's a project called Impossible Camera Project, and it's a project for, yeah, Polaroid machines and stuff. So there's a connection between Polaroid machine and your phone, so you can take pictures with your phone, with the Polaroid machine, and put some filters on it, and you can use it. It's really useful. It's a really nice project. I think that was since it was my first project in Germany, it's the apple of my eye. I think it's really nice. And the other things that I work enjoying is like VR things, but those are the things that I only do for myself, like creating small games and stuff. And I enjoy this. I enjoy everything about mobile, so everything goes into my most proud of list, I guess. So if a company wants the last version API AR experience right from the beginning, I just release it first. So if that's the business core, it's the difficult way. I mean, Antonio, as I said, platform-specific things will not be able to be covered anyway. This is, but this is it. But what they give you is to cover almost everything. As I said, even we had some issues with some parts of the app that we needed to create two different things in Flutter uh, that is platform specific, like alarms, because Android is given more permission to reach the device than iOS. So that's the thing. So I'm back. Only 10 minutes. The tips for keep project updated and stay away from problems with updating. don't update your Android City Slovak. No. Yeah, it was a joke. Sorry, of course not. I mean, to be honest, I cannot give any. As I said, if I had any ideas, I would give the idea or the tip already, because the way that they try to implement Slavic is actually they want to keep everything that you have already in the system, but since the operating systems change, even in like from Linux or even the Linux version, like if you use Ubuntu or something else or whatever it is, it changes. They sometimes they have the tendency to not cover everything. I know. I mean, I had plenty of issues when I was updating from 2.3 to 3.0. It was plenty of issues, so I needed to delete everything and start everything from scratch. So that's all I have. I can say it's terrible. I know. So, Svyatoslav, what do you think about pattern libraries, Mosby or Moxie or MVP? I like Mosby MVP. Mosby is really cool. Would it be better to implement it by ourselves? Uh, so, It depends on, I mean, Mosby is handling plenty of stuff for you, like orientation changes and stuff. So what I would say is like, if you want to learn, use Mosby. Mosby is really amazing. It's like it helps you to get rid of plenty of code reputations and code burdens. So I would use and go for Mosby. I won't use Moxie. Uh, I just heard a little about it. But as I said, Mosby I used a lot, and I definitely recommend it. It's easy, and if you're good with annotations, yeah, Moxie looks good too. And yeah, as I said, if you like extra work, if you like to handle everything by yourself, do it yourself. MVP is not a hard pattern like model, event presenter, callback behaviors, and etc. So it's totally up to you. But I like Mosby. We have fun group work here on Slack. Because of that, so we fix them in a good time. Working alone will be a challenge. 5 minutes and so a huge thank you for this hackathon. Thank you, Slavek. I enjoyed really this hackathon. I mean, it was a different experience for me. I had plenty of good questions, plenty of things that I saw. I thank you guys for not keeping me alone here and being part of this stream and asking me questions. So I thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Have a nice rest of the week. Weekend, Slavek. Maciej, I think every understood this table really. If they were not fixing small issues, I would do the same. I would say the same thing, Maciej. I would say the same thing. I hope that I helped you guys to solve your issues or clarify some things because I did my best on that. I hope that I was useful on this. I hope that you guys made plenty of progress. Play full screen. So, Yonis Anifantakis. Okay, asks. I hope that I say your name correct. It looks like Yanis, but I don't want to say wrong, so I say Ioannis. Let's say. Sorry if I say your name wrong. Suddenly, while I was making a menu on the baking app, I got the following error. What does the log say, Ioannis? I mean, it says check logs for details, so I need to check the logs for details. Antonio, what do you advise for extra player full screen? What I did was when the layout is landscape, I just showed a full screen layout alone. If it was portrait, I show it as it is. This is what I did. And yeah, thank you, Jose. Thank you for your questions. Thank you, Gennady. Thank you, Easy. I'm happy that you made great progress. Thank you, Natalia. Say hi to your kitty. Your cat was so cute. Thank you, Fernando. Thank you, guys. Thank you for asking questions. I enjoyed this stream a lot. Yeah, good to have you guys here. I'm happy. I hope that I would be able to help you guys, so it's nice. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome, Maciej. You're welcome, Robin. Robin, thank you for the nice picture yesterday, by the way, on Twitter. It was really cool. Big Brother is watching. So I did conversion, but the problem remains. Could you please share the details? We are about to go offline, but if you share it really fast, I would do my best. Yeah, again, I think I need to do the closing a little bit. So again, thank you everyone for being here, for being in the hackathon. Keep working, keep trying to finish your projects. If you have any other questions, you can ask me anytime you want on Slack. You know how to reach me, and I will do my best to answer your questions as soon as possible. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope that you made good progress this weekend. Thank you guys. Bye bye.